Goes the family, welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully you guys having a great and exceptional day. So this video today, I've been trying to keep up with my rants on Sundays. And this rant today is about the DMV area. I'm from the DMV area, Woodbridge, Virginia to be exact, about 40 minutes south of Washington, D.C. In the DMV area is really places that are connected by the metro, meaning parts of Maryland, Prince George's County, Montgomery County, Maryland, and then, of course, you have Fairfax County, Virginia. You have Arlington, Virginia, Alexandria, Virginia, Prince William County, Virginia. So, and then, of course, other people would throw in Stafford County and Fredericksburg. All that coincided with one another and whatnot, because you have so many people that work in D.C. that even live an hour to 2 hours outside of Maryland. 2 hours outside of D.C. that live in Maryland, 2 hours outside of Virginia, or hour outside of DC, or 2 hours outside of DC, in the Virginia area. So this is my video about y'all. So there's a superficial culture because a lot of people, this is a part of the country where a lot of people make six figures. A lot of people have overpriced houses. A lot of people have overpriced cars, and they think they're special. And I have to tell you, in 2023, and as a person who grew up in the DMV area, 90% of the population, to probably 95% of the population, are average, regular, working people. Sorry, my dog is with me, and he is losing sleep because I usually don't take him outside. Take him on the drive with me. But anyways, most of you people, including myself, we're just regular working people. If you have to get up every day, log into work, go to work, pay bills, just like everybody else, you're a regular working person. Now, I know that might suck to hear that, but whether you live on the Virginia side of the river, the Maryland side of the river, the DC, living in DC, unless you're a millionaire or billionaire that can turn over whenever they want to, you're not that special. I have to put that word out there, because I'm noticing lately in 2023 there's a snootiness. What's going on, Kendrick? How you holding up, brother? Hope everything's good with you and the family. I'm noticing the snootiness. It's on the rise with everybody. And because you got your Tesla, because you got your Lexus, because you're in your $500,000 home, well, guess what? You are a part of the club. It's like high school. You are a part of the club of most people in this area can afford to own a Tesla. They can afford to own a $500,000 home. And guess what? They got to log into work and go to work every day. Is there anything wrong with that? Absolutely not. But you're a part of the club. That's all it is. It's like high school. There's various different cliques, various different clubs. You are a part of the club, and it is the funniest thing ever to see somebody acting snooty when 90% of the time you have a high car payment, but that's why you go into Dollar General, because you're trying to find the best deal possible. You got a high mortgage payment, so that's why you go into Walmart, just like the rest of us, just so you get the best deal possible. Most of the people are up to their ears in debt, credit card debts, student loan debts. For us veterans, that's not a problem. But most people have an overpriced mortgage, got a bunch of kids that they can't afford. And is there anything wrong with having children? Absolutely not. But hey, the old saying is, if you can't feed them, don't breed them, right? So, because I remember back when I was in high school working at Babies R Us when they were open, and I remember and I'm 16, 17 years old, so I had more of a smarter mouth back then than I did as a grown man. But I remember one guy was like, because we were out of a certain product that they needed, and the guy's like, I got 3 kids to think about. And I said to him, and I'm surprised I didn't get fired, and I'm like, and that's my fault because? I'm like, did I tell you to have 3 children? Am I supposed to feel sorry for you? I'm like, where did we go in society? And this is back in the 90s. So when I hear that people say that now, and I'm as a grown man, I just start laughing even more so. But yeah, the DMV people, most of you guys, you're not that special. I went to a comedy show the other night, and as I was walking the streets of DC, walking the streets of Crystal City, I heard people having these nice in-depth discussions about how special they are, and the products that they were working on, and things of that nature. Is there anything wrong with that? Absolutely not. Doge, chill out. So anyways, but then they was just talking, they had to keep throwing their position out there, how much money that they made. I had to throw their status out there, and I'm hearing the numbers because I'm just ear hustling for the sake of ear hustling, and I'm just like, okay, you make 6 figures and you live in the DC, you're not that special. So, and because usually to the major players that live in the DMV area, whether they live in DC, they live in Maryland, they live in Virginia, the people who are making the millions and billions of dollars a year, because there's a lot of money to be made in the DMV area, they're usually not bragging about it. They're usually just executing. So if you really want to be that big time boss, that's a real special person, be an executor. Don't just be a big time talker, because you make yourself look foolish all at the same time. So I leave it at that. So just wanted to give my 2 cents about folks in the DMV. I know, as a person who grew up here, who's not a transplant, most of the people that live here are transplants. Nothing wrong with that. But I've just noticed the culture has gotten way more snootier than ever before. And because of that, it just makes it much more entertaining than ever before. You know, especially if you even walk around like certain parts of Woodbridge, certain parts of Fairfax County. Definitely if you're in Tyson's Corner, you know, all that good stuff, the snootiness is on the rise, and it just makes my eyes just go, really? So that's all I got to say about that. But DMV people, here's a message to you. If you're a regular working person living in the DMV, I'm sure you're a good person, but stop with the snootiness, because you're not that special. Okay, let's just call it what it is. Stop trying to live vicariously through other people. The whole status thing, unless you're making millions of dollars a year, I'm not buying it. So I can't really put it any other way. 6-figure salary in 2023 going into 2024, it just doesn't mean anything anymore. It just makes you a regular person. Because especially with inflation being on the rise, I've noticed more and more people who are having to deal with inflation and having to deal with you know, deal with products costing way more, goods and services costing way more, and more people are having to try to cut their spending. More people are renting rooms out. You know, that big overpriced house that you bought's not looking too good. That $600 or $700 car payment you got every month's not looking too good. So it's eating, and of course, you know, especially in the DMV area, a monkey could be in office, a freaking horse, a porky pig, heck, you know, God rest the dead, Charlie Murphy could be sitting in the White House. Because of the way things are now, they're just immediately just going to blame the president, they're immediately just going to blame Congress and the governor, and whether they have something to do with it is irrelevant. The main reason why I created this channel, at the end of the day, was to talk about economic and financial intelligence. And my whole thing is the fact that most people know more about, because, you know, especially it's football season, most people know more about football than they do about being able to make money in their sleep, has always bothered me. And these would be the main people crying poor mouth at the end of the day, because their credit card bills are too high. They're crying poor mouth because they don't have enough access to capital. They're not saving enough money. They're not investing enough money. And to me, that is the biggest problem. Period. Always getting dry when I talk a lot. But yeah, that's one of the biggest problems. So I got to check on my dog. It's too quiet now. So I was like, okay, what's up with him? But yeah, that is one of the biggest problems that are out there. And, you know, it's like, even in these crazy inflationary times, I don't feel as unsecure as I used to be about money, because I've been doing a great job of trying to, you know, and this is just me speaking personally. I'm not giving out financial advice. But I've done a good job of trying to increase my income, save as much money as possible, invest as much money as possible. These are the main things, especially when it comes to your 401k, when it comes to having an individual retirement account, having a self-directed the IRA, individual retirement account, you know, whether it's for yourself, preferably for your business, you know, trying to pay down as many debts as possible. These things matter. And unfortunately, more and more people care about the way that their house looks, their car looks, the jewelry that they wear, the clothes that they wear. They care about the name brands of all this crap that means nothing, more than making sure that their bank account and their credit score and their access to capital looks better than anything else on planet Earth. That's where we've been at, but because a lot of people didn't want to have that mindset, because they cared more about looking good and having a certain specific status, that they've lost sight of that, being able to do these specific things. So I'll leave it at that. And it's like, a lot of people think I'm always picking on the DMV area. Hey, the number one, I was having a discussion with a friend of mine / co-worker, who he's from Richmond, Virginia, which is like considered to be southern / central Virginia, because of the position of where the geography of the city of Richmond and the surrounding counties and all that good stuff of Richmond, Virginia. But anyways, we basically said, you know, Virginia is like, in a sense, not a bad state to come to. It's not a bad state to live, but it is not the most exciting place to be. Maryland either. It's not a bad state, you know, Washington, D.C. It's a place where people, you know, most of the time either somebody has an affiliation with the military, the federal government, anything wrong with that? Absolutely not. It's a place where people like to look at the capitals within D.C., the historical aspects of things, and people who are just really into politics. Anything wrong with that? Absolutely not. But if you're looking for excitement and jazz, this is not the place for you. I think the most that the state has going on is the Washington National Harbor, where you have the MGM casino, and I know a lot of shows happen there, but when it truly boils down to it, this is not the most exciting place to be. It's probably one of the most boringest places to be ever, as far as the DMV area. And a lot of people make things happen here. A lot of people raise families here, but that's usually it. I mean, I think back in like when I was coming up in the 90s, DC was way before gentrification. Washington DC was way more of a fun city to visit. They had the go-go bands. It was way more to do. But now I call the DMV area uptight country because the snootiness of everybody, regardless of their race, regardless of the background, regardless of where you come from, regardless of if they even grew up here, the snootiness of the people that reside in this area has grown tremendously, and that's why I call this place uptight country. So I leave it at that. That's why I'm more of a, I always say the West Coast and the South meshes more with my personality, because people are just way more laid back. And you have jerks there. You got jerks no matter where you go. But I just like the laid backness and the chill and the mellowness of, especially, you know, you can love or hate California, but in California, that's the one state you can't, California and New York are the states where you can't pretend like you're rich. Like the DMV area is good for producing the fake rich-minded people, you know. In California, you can't pretend to be rich. Either you got it or you don't. In New York, you can't pretend to be rich. Either you got it or you don't. And that's just what it is. So that's the one thing I can say I like about that. And then, like I said, when I go down south, especially like when I go to Houston, Texas, and Atlanta, preferably, I noticed that. And Atlanta has a little bit of its superficial culture, but you still can't portray to be, you know, it's still got that southern flair where you can't pretend to be something that you're not. So that's why I vibe with it. But this rant is basically to let the folks in the DMV know, like, hey, y'all, you snooty folks in the DMV, you're not that special. Okay, if you live in Woodbridge, Fredericksburg, Stafford, Fairfax County, if you live in Montgomery County, Maryland, Prince George's County, Maryland, known as PG County, if you live in Waldorf, which is known as Charles County, Maryland, yeah, I'm calling everybody out. Okay, I'm calling, whether you make six figures, whether you even make $300,000 a year in the DMV, you're not that special. Your title is not that special. So just had to put that out there. And to my cool DMV people, because you got some good folks in the DMV, what's up? How you doing? You know, like, we need more people like you, people with a good spirit about you, people that bring joy, people that bring the knowledge, people don't hold the information in to help other people on the come up, you know, because as I'm getting older, I want to see my younger siblings, my younger people out here make moves. You know, I was fortunate enough to have people outside of my mother and my uncles help me get to where I am right now and give me some great information, because even in the information age, it still behooves one to have a good mentor. That's the thing that a lot of us forget about. You know, I'm guilty of it myself, but it's great to have some sort of mentorship to where you're able to make some money moves without living broke like a fool. All right. So on that note, I think that's all I got for now. Just trying to think if I have anything else to say. But yeah, like, to the good folks in the DMV area, keep up. You need more good people in the DMV area, because you got just too much of a snooty, I'm special culture. And it just seems like to me, it's just getting worse and worse every day. As Miss Norma Jean, a great family friend, used to say, it's an entitlement, and it has nothing to do with one's race, religion, gender, background, whatever you want to call it. It's just a mindset. And as my brother Ron Samuel would say, mindset is everything. And if you got the wrong mindset, then all that nonsense you talking means nothing to me. So it is what it is. And this is me sitting in the parking lot having a discussion. Make sure I have to check on my dog. This is me sitting in the parking lot having a discussion with you all, because I just wanted to get that, you know. And what's up to people who love the United States of America? You know, that's what's up. What's up to the people who have pride in being from the DMV area? Nothing wrong with that. Like I said, most people think I'm from Los Angeles because I wear a lot of LA gear, because I just have more of a Los Angeles mindset. Like, that's all I can say about that. So, I just have more of a West Coast personality. That's just how I look at it. So, And a lot of times when I go, when I'm in LA, I feel like I don't have to be on, well, nowadays, you got to be on guard no matter where you go. But it's like, kind of like in a sense therapy for me, because it's just more of a laid back atmosphere. So on that note, family, do the great 3 free things. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a good day. And as I always say, make money move. So we're going to live bro like a fool. Take care.